I used to love Toronto, and I think Toronto's going to shit now. I think what's happening in the city is really unfortunate. The traffic's ridiculous. The drug problem's ridiculous. The homeless problem's ridiculous. The housing is ridiculous. There's so many problems with Toronto as a whole. On the world side, I think if just people just fucking loved each other a little bit more, had some more compassion for one another, it'd be a way better place.
Welcome to another episode of the podcast. For the first time in history, a better looking guest than me. Pretty Ricky. Shout out all my previous guests. You guys are all hot. Shout out Pretty Ricky. Pretty Ricky's here. Welcome, Pretty Ricky, to the pod.
Thank you.
Man, you're gorgeous.
I feel like we should have done this a long time ago.
I know. Two podcasters. Podcast to yourself. Friend from years. Oh,
Years.
I met you when?
15.
Like when the Jays used to be good and we're going for the World Series,
Yeah.
like that. We used to go to the games.
When
together.
Dalton Pompey was like crushing it.
When Jose bat flip, we were
Yeah.
there together.
Yes,
we
we
were there
were.
together. We were
Yes.
partying all day, all night.
Yes.
So we've
Oh
been
my
through it
God.
all. Yeah. How old are you now?
33.
Fuck. I'm
I've
coming
been telling people
up.
I'm 34 lately. I don't know why.
33 is great.
34 sounds nicer.
You look fucking great.
I do my best. You can't
Cheers.
see my gray. You
No,
can't see my gray.
okay.
Is that it?
So, Pretty Ricky, you're a podcaster, you're a social media star. Take me back. I always like to start at the beginning. From where, how you grew up, life. Tell me about life.
I'll tell the whole story. Fuck, I haven't done this in a while. So yeah, born and raised in the city. Frank, my dad, Elaine, my mom. Elaine's the best lady in the world. You know Elaine.
Shout out Laney, shout out Frank.
Elaine.
Love you guys.
Yeah. Mom was a stay-at-home. Dad is in construction. He started his own business in '78 with his uncle. So I always worked with him as a kid, 13 till like 20ish. I worked every summer, stopping traffic, marking trucks, whatever was needed.
Yeah.
Played hockey, played sports my whole life.
We can
You
tell.
Yeah,
You're
I
in
got
great
try and stay in shape.
Yeah.
I went to St. Mike's private school. People listening might know what that is. If you
Obviously,
don't.
everybody knows St.
Yeah,
Mike's,
so I played sports my whole life. Then I went to Western. Started doing events, nightclub stuff. You remember Moretti, Alex Moretti?
Of course, his brother.
Yeah.
His brother's shop is right here.
Yeah, right around the
RFP
corner.
Design,
Yes.
yeah.
And Moretti
Makes all my
Alex,
stuff.
Alex Moretti works at. He works with his sister-in-law's company. It's called Erie Farms, Erie Meats.
Erie Meats.
Right down
right
here
there.
too.
Yes.
So started
Shout
doing
out Moretti, we
shout
love you
out
guys.
Moretti, Crown Entertainment.
Yeah.
So we were
Still a
Crown
thing? It's
Entertainment.
still a thing?
Well,
Can we get a party or two here?
So we have the Instagram account, Crown Dens, but it was tied into our Crown Den emails, which we don't have, and we don't remember the password, so we can't get the account.
Google, someone help us out.
Somebody
Gmail,
help us, yeah.
Someone help us out.
Somebody's got to know how to get this account back, because it was good.
Yeah, it was money, yeah.
Yeah, so I started doing events and hospitality. Then I went to Western, did that for 4 years. Then I went to George Brown, did that for a year. Graduated, whatever, worked in marketing and entertainment. That's how we met through
Of course.
Adonis, Mo, all the boys.
Everybody, shout out all the boys.
Shout out the boys.
Yeah.
What was our group? DT?
DTGB.
Yeah, whatever.
Bro, we played at Air Canada Center. We ran fucking basketball tournament
Yeah,
there.
remember we did the soccer. I don't think you played in the soccer.
We had the
team.
baseball team.
We had the baseball team.
Yes. 6 jerseys. Yeah,
It was
we've
crazy.
It's been a while.
And we did Lost every single Saturday night.
Shout out Mickey.
Shout out Mickey.
And the fact that Lost is still going is a testament to him.
It's wild.
It's insane.
Like
It's
I don't
still
know a
going.
single person that goes there, but it's lined up.
It's still going
every
though.
Saturday.
It's still going.
I walk by on a Saturday. It's still slammed.
We're
every
filming
Saturday.
this on a Monday. Mondays are still.
Yeah, Lost Monday's still a thing.
I don't know how he does it. And this guy's popping up fucking new restaurants. My liver can't take it, Mickey. I told you to retire a long time ago. Motherfucker.
Did you go to this thing, Mickey Beach?
I did. Did you?
No, I had a pickleball event that day, so I couldn't go.
I was
but
absolutely gone. It was great.
I heard it was great.
Every,
I saw the videos. I'm just like,
every person in the city was there. He knows what he's doing, man.
and you know what? You won't meet a single person that talks bad about Mickey ever. You know, some people will be like, "Oh, Ricky, he's an asshole," or "Chris, he's a fucking this."
No.
Nobody says a single bad thing about Mickey.
Mickey's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
He's
It's like a Sacco too. Like
Yeah,
everybody,
yeah.
like
Shout out all the club owners in the
yeah,
city that always
Maddie,
take care
yeah,
of us.
everybody.
Yeah. So you're in the hospitality industry for a bit. Crown
doing that,
Entertainment.
yeah.
Always working with dad in the construction business?
So no, I stopped when I was 20 because I was like, construction's not for me. I'm not waking up at 5 a.m. to go to job sites to get dirty and just have people yell at you and scream.
Too good
at you.
looking. You're too good
It was
looking.
just it was one of those things where I didn't see myself in it. I was just like, I went to school for marketing. I got a good education. I did a post grad. Sports and marketing is where I'm at. So I did that for a couple of years. And then I got let go of my job, or I got politely asked to leave. They were like, this was a media sales job I was doing downtown.
Okay.
Basically told me, it's like, look, you're not hitting your numbers. We can demote you, or we package you out. I'm like, package me out. I'm not getting demoted. That's the most embarrassing thing in the world.
Facts.
So I got packaged out. I had the summer of Ricky. Remember that? 120 days of Ricky?
120 Days of Ricky was insane. It was the most
2015.
crazy. That run and Jamil's run, you know Jamil. That,
Yeah, yeah.
Those two runs were historic.
Fuck, I'll tell the story too since
Yeah,
we have
yeah.
time.
Well, while we're
So
here, while we're
2015,
here.
I got laid off. I got 4 months severance. I was only there for like a year and a half. So 4 months I was happy with. I'm like, fuck, 4 months pay. Plus I was doing nightlife. So I'm like, okay, I've got a little bit of money here coming in. I've got my nightlife money. I'm just gonna not work all summer long and travel. So I think I went to Vegas like twice. I went to Thailand. I went to Thunder Bay. I went to Miami. I went to New York. I went a lot.
You blasted everywhere.
Yeah, and I was recently single. My chick of like 4 years, we broke up like a week before I
That's
got.
the
The Greek one.
The Greek one.
Anyways,
I'm sure she was hot anyway. Shout out her.
she was gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah.
She got a kid now, and I think she just got married.
We're happy for you.
Yeah, we're
We're
happy.
happy for you.
We're happy for her. We
Yeah,
don't hold
yeah.
grudges. So I
Tell
was
her you're happy. Look at that camera. Tell her
we're
you're
happy for you. So recently single, got laid off. Like to most people, this is like the crippling moment in their life. To me, I was like, I'm not working. I'm gonna have the summer of Ricky. And I had 120 days of nonstop fun. And I lived at
I remember this
Front and
condo.
John, the one with the
Yes.
rooftop pool.
Yes.
So every morning I would wake up, I'd go to the gym, I'd go to the pool, take a picture of the pool, be like, hey, who wants to do something today? And every day there was somebody that wanted to do something. Because again, you're like 25, so some people are still working and like, working hard. Some people are still kind of fucking
Nightlife
around.
people probably hit you
Nightlife
up.
people are like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not working.
Yeah.
So I think I went to like 10 Jays games that year. I went to
Yeah.
the island a dozen times. Like we went out every Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
We did.
With our crew.
We did.
So
Yeah.
did
Shout out
that.
our livers for holding up.
Yeah, fuck, they were the MVPs, the real
They
MVPs.
were. They were.
And then after the 4 months was up, I was either gonna go work with a buddy of mine at Carlsberg. He's like, I'm looking for a sales rep. I'm like, you'd be perfect.
beer company.
Yeah, sell beer downtown. That'd be your territory. I'll pay you well. And I'm like, fuck. In 10 years, where do I see myself? In 10 years, if I grind my ass off, if I'm lucky, I'm near the top with Carlsberg, right? If I'm lucky.
If you're lucky, yep.
Or I go, I hang him up. I go work for my dad, and I'll figure it out. Then 10 years, I could be near the top. So Frank and my uncle made up a position for me because I'm the owner's son. You have to have a real job.
Of course.
Made one up. I did well there. I loved it. I've enjoyed my time there. I'm still there. Like most people on social media don't know. I have a very normal
Very
day
normal,
job.
yeah.
Like 9 to 5 in the office. Like grind it out. Construction all day long.
You're administrative though. You're not.
Yeah,
on
I'm more on the. So now my official title is operations manager. So
Okay.
I do scheduling and I guess
on site.
sorting.
Yeah.
But again, when you're the owner's son, you just do whatever they don't want to do or whatever people don't want to go to them for. They come to you.
Can't
right?
really fire you. Yeah. Shout out Frank, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they can't really fire me, but no, I'm good at what I do
Yeah.
too, which is nice. And then, you remember a couple years ago, me, George, and DB started an app. Cast.
Cast. Yes.
Yeah, so we started that. We were using social media to promote the app. We went on this like crazy tour of the U.S. in a large purple van.
I remember you rented the truck.
Bro,
Yes.
It was crazy. It was an RV. It was like we went from Toronto to Florida, Florida to Texas, Texas back to Toronto.
You went all over
And
in
we
the
did
purple
it
truck.
in 8 weeks. It was the best, worst experience of my life. The best in terms
Explain
of like,
this.
nobody will ever get the, no, sorry, not nobody. Very few people are going to get the chance to do a road trip like that. Toronto to Florida, Florida to Texas, Texas back to Toronto.
You went all over.
It was, we stopped off at every cool school. Like when I watched Final Four March Madness, or like March Madness as a whole, I've been to half those schools.
It's just sick. That's sick.
2 years ago, I bet on all the schools that we went to, and I won with Kentucky. No,
No.
Connecticut. UConn won,
Yeah,
right?
they won 2 years in a
2 years
row.
ago.
But yeah,
So I put like $50 on them. And told me, I've been there. I know that school. We got kicked off. We got chased off by cops there.
Okay.
So we did that. We were using social media to promote the app. I had a couple of videos go viral. I got lucky. We shut down the app, and I Googled, I'm like, how to become an influencer. I'm like, I got like 50,000 followers. Like, this got to be worth something, right? Either I sell the account to someone who
So
wants
but you're following
Yeah.
Crowned and everything like that. As you're going, you're gaining follow, but you're not really doing social media like.
Yeah, I was just like, I had followers in Toronto. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, I'm like a fairly well-known person
Like
in
a local
Toronto.
celebrity
Yeah,
kind of
like
thing, yeah.
you're on King West, like, good chance we've partied together, we've drank together, we've AP'd together. Like, you get it. It's similar for you, right? Like,
yes,
you get
yes.
it. So then I started doing the social media thing, had a little bit of followers. I Googled how to become an influencer. I'm not
So you shut down the app.
shut down the app. So I went from working 2 full-time jobs. I was working the app, and I was still working construction.
Yeah.
So I was working 80 hours a week, like 90 hours a week, like nonstop. If I went to the gym, I was on the stairs or the cardio, like a cardio machine, and still working on my phone, checking emails, just working away. 'Cause again, we were a startup. We didn't get paid for the app.
Yeah.
But I was still working my day job because I need to help out. It's a family business. I can't just leave them.
Of course. And the app was just, it wasn't.
Do you know what? We tried. We tried our hardest, and it didn't work, right? Like, you don't win them all. But again, another like pivotal moment. It was the first time I ever really tried at something and failed.
Which is the key to success is
Yeah.
failure. for
So we
sure.
failed, and we tried really hard, and it was a shitty feeling. We shut it down Christmas 2021, I think.
Okay.
So 2022, I got no job. No second job. Got a little bit of extra time. I'm like, okay, let me try this social media thing. Turns out it was not easy, but it's like pretty fun to do. You get invited to cool parties. You get paid to make TikToks and shit. Like wild concept. So I've been doing that for 2 years or 2.5 years, I guess now. I still work my day job in construction.
Yep.
Then the TikTok money I made helped me buy this pickleball team I was telling you about. So I fucking own a pickleball team.
Okay, slow down. So I want to talk about social media because without kind of saying it, social media kind of runs the world now. We understand that. We know that. This podcast, obviously, success is driven by social media and the socials and the reels we post and everything. So you Googled how to become an influencer.
Literally.
You just Googled that.
I Googled it. I was like, okay, like I theoretically know how to do it, but let me Google it. Let me see if there's something I can read. It was a 10-page ebook. Each page had one topic. And like the first one's like, start a page. I'm like, okay, I've already got that. I've done that. And I had the podcast too during all of this. We had the podcast.
Pal's podcast.
Yeah. So I changed my handle. It used to be Ricky's Travel was my secondary account. And then I changed it to Your Pal Rick.
Okay.
The Pal's podcast, Your Pal Rick.
Yeah.
People still think it's like Your Patrick. They don't realize it's an L, not a T. So people be like, yo, Patrick, what's up? I'm like, Ricky, nice to meet you. Like, whatever. Yeah, I Googled it. It was like, okay, step 1, start a channel. Step 2, start posting. Step 3, engage with your audience. Step 4, seek out brand deals. I was like, okay, well, I've got step 1, 2, and 3. I already do that shit. I'm like, seek out brand deals. Okay, Google, how to seek out brand deals. I got 5 websites that were just like influencer agency people that connect influencers and create and brands.
Yeah.
Signed up for one called #paid. That was my first one.
#paid.
#paid. Shout out #paid. They're
Shout out
great,
#paid.
unbelievable. And my first ever real brand deal was a laxative called Ducalax. And I think they hired me just because nobody else applied. Because
Really?
like, who wants to promote a laxative?
Right.
I was just like, I want to be in this. I'm gonna start this. So I did a laxative as my first brand deal, and it was like it was 5 figures for this like deal, which is like
just to promote.
your first one. Mind you, I had to make like 5 or 6 videos, whatever. But I was like, holy fuck, I just made this much money for like 2 days of work.
Clicked.
I was like, fuck yeah, let's keep doing this. Kept doing it. Now, 2 years later, I've worked with Samsung, I've worked with DoorDash, I'm doing a deal with Vector, Kellogg's Vector. I've worked with Wealth Simple, Coho, I don't even know, Harry Rosen. I like the Titans. I get to work with the Titans.
Yeah,
Like that's my fucking football team, and they invited me to go to a game in the box and blah, blah, blah.
Amazing.
I got to go on the field and shit. Like, you get to do so much cool shit from
But
it.
so just for people that are out there trying to like do it, obviously you have to have somewhat of a following to get these deals and whatever. So you obviously built a following through Crown Entertainment and being obviously a good-looking whatever, this and that. And you have a so you can't just walk in and get brand deals, but
Yeah.
you started with like a laxative and then
Yeah, and then you work your way up. But the biggest thing is just, we talked about this off air, like consistency. Every day posting, every single day. And in 2022 when I started, the goal was to make 2 TikToks a day every single day, which seems really easy to do, right? Like, 2, like how long does it take you to make a TikTok? Well, it's not just make it. It's like you gotta have the idea. Mine aren't overly edited, but again, you gotta film it. You need good lighting. Like that's a big part of what I do is good lighting. You gotta
you
be
have
like
the ring light and everything.
no, I don't. So I try and film during daytime hours. It's like a natural sun.
Shout out
Mind
the sun.
Yeah, but
Shout out the sun.
living in fucking Canada, we don't get sun 4 months
Facts.
a year, right?
No
Like, I'm
winter,
just
yeah.
like January. I remember I'd be on my lunch break at work and I'd go to my car, drive to the local bowling alley across the street, just so I wouldn't be around my office. I'd park with the light where the sun faced down on a good way, and I'd make my TikToks.
See, people don't see the hustle and the
No,
grind. And
it's
the little
2
things.
times, like every fucking day.
Yeah.
So Saturdays, if I wasn't busy, Saturday or Sunday, I'd go to my parents' house because they got great lighting, and I would make like 6 or 7 on a Saturday or Sunday.
Like batch film.
to help like give you like that content folder, whatever. People don't see that. They're like, it's easy to do, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, it is easy, but it takes time.
Because when it
Everything's
arrives on
time
their phone, right? They see the.
it was like,
finished
we see this,
product, right?
it went viral. It went viral.
Yeah.
It's like you don't see the 30 other TikToks I made to get that one to go viral.
And so talk to me about numbers viral. TikTok is where you really exploded.
So I got lucky on TikTok early on. I think my first ever viral video was like boyfriend application or something like cheesy thirst trap. I posted it, did like, I don't know, 6 million views or something.
Really?
6, 7 million. I got 30,000.
That's big, even for
Oh, yeah.
that's for TikTok.
I got like 30,000 followers in the span of like 2 weeks from that one video.
just the one video.
Like I had about like 5,000 DMs. Like no, I was on Nar City. I had like all these like websites
on TikTok.
reaching out.
On TikTok.
Yeah, all these like websites reaching out, like, oh, like we saw your thing, like how many, we want to interview you. I'm just like, literally, I'm just a normal fucking dude. Like
Yeah.
I don't do anything special. But yeah, I did that. That was cool. So I had those viral videos go on early, and when the algorithm's working in your favor and you're consistently posting, it'll work in your favor. So it saw my video go viral. I kept making videos with like similar niches, similar talking, talking about dating, talking about being single, talking about like thirst traps, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think 1 month I did like 12 or 13 million views in 1 month. For like, again,
your
I'm
whole
a normal
channel.
dude. No, just on TikTok, just on TikTok.
Just on TikTok, and it's a personal. It's a personal TikTok.
So it was just like nothing, like, it's not like I did anything special. I didn't have like a team. I didn't have people. It was just fucking making shit that I think people would laugh about.
Something hit. Something
Yeah,
hit on
and I
the
never
algorithm.
used to post on Instagram just because I was like, TikTok's like my like, niche dating, thirst trap, cheesy kind of shit. My Instagram's me. I like Instagram. Like that's my shit. Like I have friends on Instagram. Like I talk to people on Instagram.
It's just the real you.
Yeah,
Kind of thing, right?
and then so I was doing TikTok. I had like I don't know. I got like 230,000 followers, 240,000 followers. Last summer, I started posting. A buddy of mine's like, Ricky, post your TikToks as your reels. You've got like 300 TikToks. Start with your biggest
On
one.
IG,
Yeah.
same,
I
yeah.
started posting them on IG Reels. I had 18 or 19,000 followers last August when I started. And I took all my biggest TikToks, like the ones with 6 million, 5 million, 10 million, 9 million. I started posting them all as Reels. I did one a day for like 2 months, 3 months.
On your personal IG.
On my personal IG, I went from 18,000 followers to like 70,000 followers in 2 months.
Crazy.
And just like, if you saw my reshares, like, you have that like notification bar?
tells you
it's
where-
like, oh, you have this many reshares? You'd click it, it was just like, so many. It was fucked. Crazy.
So TikTok exploded, converted to IG exploded,
Yeah.
and,
then,
now
again,
you're just a social media star.
then that's what helps with the brand deals now. Now I
Right.
got TikTok and Instagram, because before I only had TikTok.
TikTok.
So now again, I get like, I'm doing a deal with, when's this releasing?
Maybe in a week.
Okay, so I'm doing a deal with Petro-Canada, which is
Shout
like,
out gas.
yeah, Petro-Canada, love you guys. So
Do
I'm
you
doing
fill-
them,
honestly, do you fill up anywhere but petrol?
mostly Petro, because it's like, there's one really
Now-
close
now
to me.
that- now, yeah.
But I do the odd person here and there, when it's like, if I'm running low, then I'll do
Yeah,
the
yeah,
odd
you
person.
have to. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I'm obviously a Petro supporter, and I got my stupid little Petro card, whatever.
Of course. Is there any? Because the way you make it sound is that it's not easy, but like it just works for you. Is there any flaws? Is there any kinks in the armor when it comes to building a social media brand, becoming a social media influencer?
I wouldn't say it's a kink. It's just everybody thinks it's easy, which I'm not saying it's hard. It just takes time.
Yeah.
Everyone sees one viral video, like, oh, I can be a creator, I can be an influencer. I had this video go viral once. It's like, okay, we'll do that every fucking month.
Yeah.
For 2 years, 3 years. Like I have friends who see what I'm doing now, and they hear about the brand deals I'm doing and how much I'm like making. They're like, oh, I could easily do it. It's like, okay, go and do it. And in 2 years, I want to see what you've done, because it's easy to do it for 1 week. So it's no problem. To make 2 videos a week for 1 week is a joke. Imagine doing that every fucking day for 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
There's days where I'm like, I just want to delete my Instagram. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to disappear for a month. And you can't, because you're under contract.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
The other day, I was just like, I hated social media. I was just not down. I was just, those days where you're fucking miserable?
You want to just get
Oh
away
man,
from
I was
it all.
miserable. I'm like, I'm gonna delete everything today. I'm just gonna shut everything down. Not like delete it for good, but
Just like
shut it
put
down.
your phone down and
Yeah, I'm like, I can't, because I got obligations and I have to post at this time. I gotta do this, I gotta do that. It's just, there's days where you just don't want a social media. You don't want to put on a smile and laugh and joke around.
yeah.
But when you do it, you can't, because it's a job. And there's days where you don't want to go to your job, and everyone listening, there's days where you guys don't want to go to your fucking jobs either, but you have to, because this is what we got to do to carry on with life. So, but yeah, overall, social media is great. Just, again, it takes time. Like anything you do in life, even podcasting. Like your first episode, our first episode on The Palace went great. We did 1,000 views, or 1,000 downloads on our first episode. It's
amazing.
Like, this is great. First episode, 1,000 views. This is before I had any TikTok either. This is just like normal people. Or like second episode, we're gonna do 2,000. Second episode, we did 600. Well, third episode, we did 400. And then we're like, okay, fourth, we did 4, then we did okay. Then we started to grow, but everyone's like, oh, you launched, it's so sick. Like when we launched our app, we had 5,000 downloads first day. We're like, that's fucking sick. We were like number 15 on like the App Store in our category. We're like, we're fucking crushing it. We're gonna fucking go to number 1. Well, then the hype wears off, and then it's like, you start dropping. Well, it's like, okay, fuck, keep going. Day in and day out, stick with it, and you'll fucking get back.
I think, again, I was talking to my producers just before I went on air about the desire nowadays for instant gratification. Even like a podcast episode, like this episode, let's say it's an hour, and a lot of people can't sit there for an hour and listen to 2 good-looking guys talk for an hour about just life, about social media, about life, whatever.
It's tough, man.
It's tough to keep people engaged. Nowadays, when reels are taking over and 15-second clips and 30-second clips are kind of taking over the world, right? So how do we find our niche? And I'm not saying I don't love the pod because I'll sit here and chat with you 5 hours off camera just to talk. But you have to keep people engaged. You have to keep them wanting to, you know.
The toughest part is when you have a great episode. You have this episode and like, this felt so good. It was so natural. There were so many funny moments. We laughed, we cried. We had the best episode. You post it. You do your clips. You got 5 good clips. You're posting your clips every day, once a day for the whole week. After the week's done, you look at the episode and I'm like, what the fuck? This episode did so bad. What the fuck? It's like, how does this happen? But again, it's like you said, it's people's attention spans are small. If you have a busy week and the sun's out every day, people don't want to be on their phones, they're outside.
Yeah.
It could just be the fucking weather got you that week.
Yeah.
It's tough,
so
man.
true,
It's so fucking tough. But that's why it's about consistency, doing it week in and week out. Because the more episodes you do, just like me, we've done 275 episodes of the Palace Podcast. 275. If you look at by episodes, we're probably, I don't know, in the top 10% of podcasts in Canada on episodes. Like 275 is fucking insane.
It's a lot of content.
We've been doing it for over 4 years now. And still, like, we don't hit maybe more than, I don't know, like a good episode for us now is like 10,000 views on the episode.
See, that's crazy because you're like, obviously your social media, your personal social media is obviously exploding. And again, it goes back to attention span, it goes back to this. It's easier to create content, like you said, in your car, TikTok, blah, 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 than it is to produce a full-on episode of a pod, right? Like shout out Joe Rogan, who's probably the king of
he's
podcasting. But his episodes are like 3 hours. I know he has great guests,
and
but
he
like,
also gets paid though. For him, this is his job.
Yeah.
Right? Like for guys like me and you, like, you know, on a good day, I get paid to podcast. Like that's a fucking rare occasion.
On a
now.
great day, yeah.
Usually we lose money. And like when
Yeah.
I tell people, like the pod loses money. Like we've had some agents be like, oh, what's your budget for guests? I'm like, 0. Like we lose money. I can't afford to
it's
pay.
tough to justify paying a guest when you have all these other expenses
Well,
already.
and then it's like, you know, I've had guests that we would have paid for because they were that cool on
Yeah,
social media, their
yeah.
clout was there, and they come on, it's like they're doing you a favor by coming on. It's like, whoa,
See-
you're not doing me a favor by coming on. This is a mutual exchange.
Right.
I'm giving you a platform to share your ideas.
Right.
You're giving me your platform, and you're giving me the chance to sit down with you to chat.
Tell your story.
But like
yeah.
I've had people that come in, and this is very rare. Like 275 episodes, I've maybe had 5 ones where they were kind of like, what the fuck?
What am I doing?
Yeah. But like the other ones are all amazing. And like I've made so many good friends with the podcast.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I was just in Nashville with my buddy Alex. He's a DJ, Distant Matter. He had a TikTok song go viral. It was a remix of like Dasha's Austin, went mega viral. So he performed at Barstool Nashville this weekend. I became friends with him randomly at a festival one day. We just randomly met backstage. We were shooting the shit, chatting. We became good friends. I had him on the podcast. We became better friends. I flew out to Nashville to see him perform at Barstool. And we had a great time, like an unbelievable time together. Well, if we don't do the podcast, do we become as good friends? Maybe,
No.
maybe not, right?
Listen,
No, me and you. This is the best example. Me and
Yeah.
you are going to sit down here for an hour. In a week or 2 or a month, you're going to come on my podcast.
Yeah.
We haven't seen each other in like 2 years. This is going to re-spark our friendship.
100%.
And then we're going to see each other. I'm going to be I'm going to be walking by Mademoiselle in front of me. Yo, Chris, you inside? Yeah, I'm okay. I'm coming in to say hi.
100%.
Or like, you're going to be like, hey, Rick, I'm walking by Locals Only. I don't go to that place at all, but are you in? I'll
Not
come
a
to
big
say-
locals guy.
Not a big locals
locals
guy. Now that you know I go there,
Ricky's
or Parlor,
inside.
or
Let's go.
fucking Laze, be like, hey, yo, Rick, I'm going to stop by. Let's do a shot together.
Yeah. And then
It just rekindles those friendships.
it's kind of funny because, like you said, like obviously I'm not 275 episodes in, but like it's more about the connections you make.
You got to be at
and
what, 40-ish, 50?
Producer Terry, somewhere here.
I saw
How many
I saw
episodes?
Nikki Regino, was season 2, episode 15.
So what? Like we're at 40, 50 maybe. Episode of season 2, but season 1 was like 20. So yeah, like
35, 40 episodes.
But already, I'm telling you, I'm a pragmatist. I'm a practical guy. If it's not working, if you're not showing some growth, fuck it, kick it. Like it's been fun, but like obviously, let's just shout out our host today, Sahara, DJ Ibrahim, Ahmed, all you guys. We're at Sahara. We'll get a little,
do a nice tour.
gorgeous.
I'll share it too.
restaurant.
Yeah.
Gorgeous restaurant that hosts us, gives us drinks, gives us the shisha.
Yeah.
We do our own thing. It's like we're at home,
Yeah.
right? And it's just the connections you make, the people you meet. It's arguably the best. Hopefully, we get a big sponsorship and it
Yeah, and then
becomes
it makes
a business.
it, yeah. But let me ask you this. When was the last time you had someone's undivided attention for an hour?
Well, I can't get my mother's undivided attention
Buddy,
for an hour.
it's
impossible.
impossible to get someone's undivided attention for an hour. I said I will do my podcast, even if I get 0 fucking listeners, I will do my podcast once a week for the rest of, maybe not the rest of my life, but until I physically don't have the time to do it. Until maybe I have kids, and then my kids take up that hour, but then I'll build a studio in my fucking basement of my home,
Yeah.
and I will keep doing it. Because to get someone's undivided attention, you can't put a number on that. Like,
Well, listen.
I'm at work in meetings. You see people checking their phones during meetings and shit.
Of course, a lot of people, I don't want to say I didn't intend to ever do the pod, but a lot of people would always come up to me because of my personal, I love your social media. And I was private on social media until a year and a half, 2 years ago. And they would always say, you know, your personality and this and that, you should be on TV, you should be this
Doing
and that.
stuff, yeah.
So it kind of was brought upon me, the podcast idea, but then you when you realize that you actually do 20 podcast episodes a day, just with the conversations you have, without the cameras, without just talking to people. And that could be a podcast, that could be a podcast. And then when you actually do a podcast, you're like, we've probably had 20, our conversations, funny, hilarious, joke. We've probably had 20 episodes.
Look
as
what we were
real-
doing earlier.
Yeah.
Like, look, we were chatting off air, and you're like, "Fuck, this is good. Let's save this for the pod."
Yeah,
right? Like
right.
it's even with us, we have some episodes where we usually say our pods are 2 hours, but the pod itself is only an hour.
Yeah.
But we want that 15-minute meet and greet. So we have a table outside of our studio where we sit down. You want a drink? You want something? We casually shoot the shit, and we just wait. We wait until the moment feels right, because sometimes you get someone that you don't know. And my pod's kind of like yours, where it's not so much an interview. It's like, yo, let's catch up, let's sit down, let's shoot the shit.
Chalk it up.
Like ours, people ask, like, oh, can you send us the questions? Like, we don't have set questions.
No, exactly.
They're like, well, we need to run them by management. I'm like, look, we're gonna talk about music, we're gonna talk about touring, but we're just gonna shoot the shit. Like,
Give
we
them
had
final cut.
We had Donovan Bailey. No, we don't cut. We don't edit. Ours is unedited. It's an hour long, and unless you say something offside, which we've only ever had one guest say something offside where we cut it. Usually we don't even cut. It's just we just film and we just go, because we had Donovan Bailey. We talked about the Raptors playoff run for 45 of the hour. Donovan Bailey, the fastest runner at that time, you know, a Canadian Olympic GOAT.
Yep.
And we talked about fucking basketball for 45 minutes.
Crazy.
We've had musicians come on where we end up shooting the shit about their hometown. Like, they live in Texas. We end up talking about Texas for 30 minutes. And you see the PR people like, the single's coming out. Talk about the single. I'm like, fuck, what's the single called? I don't even remember it.
Because you're just having a natural conversation.
You just
right?
want to have fun, and that's what, in my opinion, if the guests don't want to see it, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because I don't do the episodes for the guests. It's like, yeah, you want the numbers to grow.
Yeah.
And you want to get bigger, and you want to like have a sponsor. You want to eventually get bigger, and I would love to do live podcasts where I could sit here, sell this whole fucking room, and pod on stage.
Oh, it'd be great.
It's tough to do that. Like we did one live at Piccolo at Christmas, our 250th episode. We had like 20 people show up. It was cool. Like we did it. We were gonna do it. If 0 people showed up, if 100 people, we were gonna do it either way. But how cool would it be to like do it like Spitting Chicklets is doing, or Call Her Daddy, where you get to go and do one live in person, like with hundreds of people or thousands of people. It'd be fucking sick.
It's kind of like you know, you're on like a news kind of broadcast, and you're doing like an interview and stuff. And what I'm finding is there's different avenues, there's different ways. It's not gonna be like this set podcast forever. It's gonna be like I did a podcast with my uncle, who's obviously he's in Jericho, Palestine now. And when the whole war was happening, I was like, give me your perspective on it from
that
there.
side.
And they set it up Google Meet, and we edited it, and it was like he was in the room.
Yeah.
And so you start to realize that there's different ways you can do this, and still like a lot of our guests, like we're now in a restaurant in Mississauga, but my studio is downtown Toronto. And you want certain guests, but like, oh, I'm in Toronto this week, or I'm traveling, I'll be in Toronto that. You gotta fly them in. It's a lot, right?
It's tough.
And we're talking about this. Our guests, like, we obviously have a history, but you're obviously a podcast or social media guy. You're a great guest, but there's not a lot of people that are willing to come on your podcast because they're nervous, they're afraid that you're gonna say something. I'm offside, but I'm like, I'm not offside, but I am offside. But
Yeah, you get it too, right?
You know, like.
But there's some people that are like, oh, I won't be a good guest. You know how many times I've told Mickey to come on my podcast? You know, fucking Mickey.
He will not do it.
I'd be like, Mickey, come on. You've got so many stories. He's like, no, bro, I'm not a podcast.
He will not
I'm
do
like,
it.
Mickey, we've had so many fun conversations. We could talk about fucking Wet Bar. We could talk about Beach Club. All these fucking cool things that you've done. Won't come on.
Not down.
It's just not
Listen,
fair.
some people don't need it, so it's to their credit.
Yeah.
They don't want it. They don't need it. They want to whatever. That's fine. But like, come on, like when people come on, like I want to go back to when you said about paying them. I feel like when you compensate someone for it, it takes away the authenticity of it because it's like
100%.
they're coming for a paid gig or whatever.
It becomes a job.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this to me is a hobby. I
Yeah.
do this because I enjoy this. It doesn't pay.
Yeah.
Like my podcast makes $0.
Yeah.
We bleed money every month. Like podcasts cost me like probably $2,000 a month to do. If you include the studio, the time and everything, it's $2,000 a month all day long. I get $0 currently. Zero. And I
Hopefully that won't last.
yeah.
Hopefully, you know.
And I make, you know what's fucked? I make a crazy amount on social media, like a crazy amount. And I'll go to my clients, and I'll be like, hey, you're giving me, I don't know, 10 grand for this TikTok and some Instagram stories and whatever. You want to sponsor my podcast for the month? $1,500, get you 4 episodes. I'll share it on my story. I'll do this, this, and this. They're like, it's okay. I'm like, it's my fucking podcast. It's literally just an extension of me.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we don't have a podcast budget. I'm like, put it in the influencer budget. Just they're like, well, if you want, why don't you take $8,500 for the TikTok and then we'll give you $1,500? I was like,
It doesn't make sense.
No,
Yeah,
okay,
it
just
doesn't make
I'll do less work then. I'll just take the 10 grand, whatever, right?
No,
It's wild
I
sometimes.
respect you for that because, like, you know, it probably started as what you call like a passion project. George, shout out George, shout out Impact, shout out everybody. And you kind of you guys just did it. And it was great, and you were making content. I know you have a lot of our friends on, this and that. And
We
it was
had
great.
Ado on.
Ado
Fuck, I should. Oh, that's what I should have brought today.
What?
Ado gave us a nice bottle of fucking Johnny Blue.
Oh,
but he
well,
had
we
the
got-
logo put on too.
The Pals, the
Oh,
Pals.
it was.
If you haven't already, like and subscribe to the Pals podcast.
Yeah, I appreciate that,
Ricky's
boys,
doing his
yeah.
thing. Let's do the shot because it's just looking at me in the
Okay.
eyes. I know we have to drive. We
Cheers.
have to do big boy things later.
Ooh. If you saw how much tequila I drank this weekend, man, oh fuck.
I was here on Saturday. We had 8 bottles of tequila. Where's the owner?
Ooh. No, but you know what I want to say too? So me and George started the pod in 2020. We were turning 30 that year, and we said we were starting to hang out less and less. And George is my homie, you know that. Like, even with him not on the pod, nothing's changed. He's part of me. I brought him onto the pickleball team with me.
Amazing.
So we started the pod together because we said we want to hang out once a week for 1 hour, and we're going to do this together. Every week, we know for sure we're going to talk to each other for 1 hour. Because again, as you get older, it becomes tougher to make
Life
time for
gets
each
in the-
other. Like, bro, even with you and your friends, like, you're probably your brothers you don't talk to and see as much as you used to. Because again,
Facts.
life happens. So we said we're going to do 1 episode a week for 52 weeks, and then we'll see how it goes. And then we ended up enjoying it. We kept it going. Then George just got tied up with work and other, he's getting married this summer.
Congrats, Georgie.
Yeah. Were you at the last wedding?
George's last wedding?
George's
How many times
sisters.
have you been
No,
married?
George's sisters' wedding.
No,
Or
where was
George's
it again?
brothers.
It was
George's brothers in Greece. Weren't you there?
my brothers came. I don't know something.
Maybe your brothers came or
Oh,
Adonis?
Ado went, and it was in Mamnavasia.
Mamnavasia, yeah. Did you not come?
Ado went. I don't know why I didn't go. I don't know.
You probably had some.
Anyways, yeah.
But yeah, so we did it just to hang out once a week. Loved it. We ended up having fun. Now he's obviously not part of it, but like from that we did the app together. The app, we shut it down, and then we didn't do anything together because he quit the pod. Then I got this pickleball team, and I'm like, yo, Georgie, like, you're my fucking boy. Do you want to come in? Like, we're best fucking friends. Like, we've done, when he was a DJ, like, I did promoting, he did DJing. Then we did the pod together. Then we did the app together. Then it was like, okay, the app shut down. We weren't doing the pod. And then I started this pickleball thing. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, come in.
I love that. You can't get that shit in between your friends, right?
No,
Like,
and you know what? As long as everyone's honest and open, like, people are just like, oh, what happened with you and George? I'm like, nothing. We're still fucking boys.
it's funny how people.
We talk, people are like, oh, he's not on the pod anymore. What happened? It's like, you think we fought or something?
Yeah,
no, we're
yeah.
fucking best
But
friends.
everyone's always looking. Listen, let's just be honest. Everyone's always looking for the.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to. You
They're
know,
like, oh, what happened? You guys, what happened? I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Literally nothing. The guy got busy.
Yeah.
So we ended up, I did the pod now with Danny, and she's great. Me and her, we bicker, but we're also like brother sister. Like we
Yeah.
literally have a brother sister relationship.
Yeah.
So sometimes we fight because I'm the bigger brother, and like I'm tough to work with sometimes because again, the pod to me is it's fucking mine. It's
Yeah.
hers too, but it's fucking
your
mine.
baby, yeah.
It's my baby. So sometimes we do things bad. I'm just like, Danny, I love you, but fuck, man, pay attention. Like, be better sometimes. And sometimes she'll give it back to me, and I'm like, good, give it back to me. Because just like it's mine and I care, it's yours too and you care. So
100%.
it's good, but yeah.
So okay, so far, everything seems rosy, but I always like to get the real, and I know I am not as I would say as established as you, social media wise or influencer wise, but I made my mark in the city,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But sometimes I feel like, and sometimes I go away from social media for a bit. I take a tour a day or
Yeah,
two off.
yeah.
You have your deal, so maybe you can't or whatever. But sometimes I'm like, this is a lot. Like I just want to chill with my family at home, and I don't want them to see. Sometimes I even like security wise,
Oh, yeah, I-
safety wise. People, you know, you have your nice clothes on, nice watch, nice car. People are always kind of lurking. You never know nowadays. So sometimes I find for myself, and like my main kind of, like you have your construction job and you have your businesses and everything. My main source of income is not this, which is, I don't think you could actually have this as your main source of income to start because.
Not unless you're you're like one of the big actors or
Right,
celebrities. and
right.
shit.
Like you already have, but like, so I can afford to like take time off, but sometimes it gets to me mentally.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Right? And I don't want to say I struggle with anything mentally because I have a very good, support group and very good friend group and family. But tell me about almost kind of having to always be on.
Yeah, it's like, look, we were talking about this earlier too. The toughest part is that when you develop this online persona, and there's days where you're not posting, people are like, what's wrong? It's like, well, nothing's wrong. I was just fucking busy. I'm just busy.
Yeah.
But then there's days where you want to shut off, and you're just like, look, I talked about this the other day. I took my first ever mental health day last Monday. I'm doing all these brand deals. My construction job, I'm still in this, 45 hours a week, 50 hours a week at construction, Metric, my family business.
Shout out Metric, shout out
Yeah,
Frank.
which I don't talk about on social media at all
Yeah.
because I want to keep it separate. Online, I'm this young, fun, happy
Nobody
guy.
sorry to cut you off, but nobody cares that your dad owns a construction company you work there. It's like they don't care.
No, but I also keep it separate too because sometimes I'm doing all these fun things. Like I don't want my employees, some of our employees are like potential clients, to be like, yo, does this guy even fucking care about the job?
Yeah.
Like, he's always traveling. Well, yeah, again, I work hard, I play hard. But there's some days where you just don't want to. So last Monday, work's crazy. Like at Metric, we're busy right now. My content stuff, that business is slammed right now. I'm not taking on any new clients. I'm busy, full. Pickleball season's full in the swing of things. Doing this fucking pickleball thing is a lot. Yeah, it takes time because we're in the middle of it. And I'm the general manager, whatever you want to call it. So it takes fucking time. Then I do my podcast. Again, we just talked about it. Podcasting takes 10 to 15 hours a week, every fucking week. You got all these things that come together, and then you get a couple bad nights of sleep. And we had a tournament for pickleball. So your mind's just racing.
Yeah.
So I got to work. So I went to the gym. I woke up 7 a.m. Monday or 6:30. Got to the gym, 7:15. I'm working. I'm having the worst workout ever. Worst work. I can't fucking focus. Worst workout. I'm like, at least I did it. Check mark. That's done. That's step one every day. Go to the gym. Get to the office. I kid you not. I sat there and my desk is a mess. So I'm like, hey, let me just make my to-do list. I start my journal. I start writing my journal. Put the journal to the side. So start making my to-do list. I kid you not. I'm like halfway through the page. And I'm like, hey, fuck, I can't write down anymore because it's too much for one day. Let me get to the top thing. I look at the top thing. I'm like, hey, let me start that. Somebody comes in. Fuck. I'm like, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing. What's up? Do you need something? They're like, oh, okay. Like, my bad. I'm like, sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. Just
hit a nerve.
Yeah, got a lot of shit going on. And after like 3 or 4 days of a bad sleep, you're on edge too. So I'm going through step one. Can I do step one? Going to step two. Didn't even bother. I'm like, hey, let's go to item number 3. I'm looking at my thing. I'm like, hey, I need a coffee. Let me get a coffee. Maybe that'll fucking pour the coffee. I didn't even fucking drink it. I'm like, fuck this. I'm going home. I looked around. I looked at like the people I need to tell. I was like, hey, do you need anything from me? No, okay, I'm going home. Went home and I slept. Between sleeping and tossing and turning in bed and just relaxing, like I tried to meditate, couldn't even fucking meditate. Just relax. And then after that, you open your book again. Okay, got back to work. Spent some time with my mom, playing pickleball, doing like shit that feels at home to me.
Yeah.
But I was just like, fuck. Like, I'm not saying being on always is a bad thing, but, and I was talking about this with George actually, like maybe 2 weeks before. I'm like, I feel like I'm just doing too much right now. And when you do too much, you're not doing anything well. You're just you're trying to do.
Going through the motions.
Yeah, you're going through. I'm like, I had the workout. It was the worst workout of my life. Worst. I just couldn't fucking get sorted. And then you got like different things happening in your life in the background, and then you got work, this, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I just fucking couldn't. I later went home and I went to bed. Turned off my phone, do not disturb, didn't take any calls, slept for a couple hours, got back to like my to-do list, slowly started plugging away. But yeah, people just think it's always sunshine and roses, but then you got like, there's days where it's not. There's days where you just don't want to fucking today.
Yeah.
But for me, like I also share those things too, because I think it's important to know.
You are very open.
I battled depression in 2017, 2018, can't remember. We're just like, I always explain it like this. Like your life is held up by pillars, okay? This is your life, this nice full glass of tequila. My fingers are the pillars of your life. When you got one pillar that goes down, no big deal, right? Your life is still good. You got 2 pillars that go down, the glass, life starts shaking.
Yeah.
That 3rd pillar goes down, your fucking life falls apart. That's what happened in 2017. Like, work was crazy. Like family issues. Like my friends weren't as, we weren't as connected as we were. Like other things happening. I just felt that, my life was slowly falling apart. And online, you see me, and you're just like, this guy's laughing and smiling all the time.
Yeah.
Like, what could be wrong? You come from a good family, got a little bit of money, you're good looking, you got good friends, good this, you got a hot girlfriend. Like, none of that shit matters when you're having a bad fucking day. None of that. You would trade, when you're having that fucking 1 out of 10 day, you would trade everything in your life to be at a 5.
Yeah.
So I try to talk about it now because I'm like, if I share this, maybe one person sees this. And I literally made a TikTok about it. I was like, look, today we're not talking about dating. We're not talking about cheeky shit. We're not talking about laughing and smiling and good vibes. Like, today we're going to talk about mental health. And today I took a fucking personal day. And you know what? If you need to, go ahead and fucking take it. Because sometimes, and I've had people not look at me like that, but when I tell people I'm having a bad day, and I'm like going through something, they're just like, in the big picture, what are your fucking problems? Like, look, you're having a bad day at work. Well, you've got a good job. You make good money. You've got a roof over your head. You've got friends that love you. You've got a family that loves you. And everything seems good. But none of that shit matters to you when you're having a bad day. And sometimes people don't want to tell others because in the big picture, again, there's a war on the other side of the world. There's, 2 wars on the other side of the world. 2 wars. There's kids without food, kids without water, people without homes. There's the drug problem all over the world is fucked up. Like world hunger. Like there's so many bigger pictures. But then you sit down and you're like, fuck, my problems seem so insignificant. You know, I'm having a bad day at work. Like, some girl won't text me back or you're fucking whatever. Those problems seem so insignificant. But to you, those are the world. To you, that is your fucking world. Yeah. So some people don't share that or don't want to talk about it. But like, hey, no offense. I don't care about what's happening in the world right now. I care about me and myself and getting back to me. And look, I'm not saying it's good to be selfish, but everybody needs to prioritize them first. When you are the best version of yourself, that's when everybody else, the tequila's yeah, fuck, the tequila's hit. No, but that's when everybody else around you, like, sees it. And that's when everybody else around you, like, starts to do well and starts to notice it. And, like, again, when you're the best version of yourself, everybody else around you will benefit from it.
We'll feel it, we'll
so benefit. That's why Monday, I didn't care that I was going to suck at my job. I didn't care that I bailed on my plans. I bailed on my first ever podcast.
The Pals?
We had an episode. We've done 275 episodes. I missed one episode because I got stuck in Houston. March Madness, Final Four. North Carolina versus Duke. Was it Duke or Kentucky? Duke. North Carolina beat Duke, Coach K's last game. I was there. I was in New Orleans. We drove back to Houston to get a plane. I missed my flight, got delayed, blah, blah, blah. Ended up missing the flight. We had a guest the next day at noon or something. I missed that episode. It was the only episode I've ever missed. Last week I texted Danny. I was like, yo, I can't podcast today. Can you do it alone? Like, step up and do this alone. She did her first episode alone. So shout out to Danny.
Shout out Danny.
Great job.
Shout out Danny.
And she'd never done an episode alone. She's been talking about it. Sometimes you got to get, put in uncomfortable positions to succeed. And she did, and she crushed it. So proud of her. But yeah, I took a personal day. I bailed on the podcast. Bailed on all my work commitments, everything. I didn't care because I needed to get back to me and get back to being like fucking 100%.
Yeah.
And I did, and I feel great now.
So I just want to touch on that because it's obviously a very a topic that a lot of people struggle with, a lot of people that we know struggle with, and a lot of people that struggle with it that we don't know they struggle with it. So depression, you battled, you struggled with it. What would you say was the key factor that got you kind of back to equilibrium, back to yourself?
So there's 2. One, I went to therapy. Therapy, for anyone who thinks they're too cool or doesn't need it, therapy is the fucking greatest thing in the world. I'll tell you, you get someone who's trained, like a properly trained person, to listen to you, and they don't tell you what to do. They're not like, you need to do this, this, and this, and that's gonna get you back on track. But they'll ask you questions like, oh, well, you're telling me the story. Well, why do you think this moment in that story, like, why do you think that did? I'm like, I didn't even think about that moment. Like, well, let's talk about that moment. Like, you told me this 10-minute story, this moment right here. Like, I took a note. Why do you think that bothered you so much? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, well, let's talk about it. Or they'll be like, okay, why did you feel a certain way when this happened? Or why do you think that you're doing this because of that? They just ask questions that, obviously they're trained to do this. They've gone to school, they've studied this, they've seen situations like me a million times probably. So therapy, number 1, is the best thing ever. It can be expensive, but there's like different outlets online where you can find support and you find things for, fairly cheap. If you have health insurance at work, both of you guys, anybody listening, health insurance, usually basic plans cover up to like $500 or $1,000, so that gets you going. Amazing. Number 2 is talking about it with your friends. When your friends don't know you're going through something, and most of my friends didn't, because I only told a couple of them, but I told my family members, like my mom is like my fucking rock, like my biggest supporter. So I told a couple of people that needed to know, and just telling them, 1, they'll support you beyond. If you have good friends, they'll fucking support you beyond belief, and like just the little things where it's, I don't know, let's say you're a roommate. Let's say you're being a bad roommate this week. You didn't fucking take out the garbage or whatever. If your roommate knows you're going through something, they'll be a little bit easier on you. But imagine you're going through something and you're fucking depressed and you're feeling worse and your roommate's telling you, yeah, why didn't you take out the fucking garbage there? I'm like, oh, I'm already a piece of shit. Fuck yeah, just throw more on me, right? But when you talk to people, they understand and they can help you and they can ask and they can check in on you and they can help you get back to who you are. So I'd say, yeah, therapy and then talking with your friends. Actually, talking about it with your loved ones and therapy. That's 1 and 2. And number 3, the gym. Healthy body, healthy mind, man. You can't tell me that going to the gym and working out and doing all these things consistently will not improve your mood. Nobody in the world, oh, the gym doesn't do it for me. Go there day in and day out, see the results and see the physical change it makes on your body. Your body and your mind are so well fucking connected that the one helps the other. When your mind is, look, that's why I had a bad workout the other week. My mind wasn't right, I had a bad workout.
It's got to all come together.
Like everything's gotta come together. And it starts when one's doing bad, the other one's gotta step up. And when one's doing good, the other one can carry it, right? So yeah, those are for me, talking to your friends or your family, your loved ones, going to therapy. Like again, I still go to therapy. I go once every 6 months.
I think a lot
now.
of people discount therapy.
The people that discount therapy are the same people that, think it's wrong for like, I don't know, two men to get married. Like, two men want to get married, go get fucking married. You want to go get married? What's it matter?
Yeah.
People that like discount therapy are the ones that live in, 1950.
Yeah.
Where they're just like,
The world's a different place now.
Yeah, it is. And there's nothing. Look, if your teeth hurt, what do you do?
Go to the dentist.
Yeah. Your muscles in your back hurt and shit. What do you do? Go get a massage. You fucking break your toe. You go to the hospital, you go to the doctor, whatever. If your mind fucking hurts, your mind's not right,
It's a mental doctor, yeah.
go to the mental doctor. It's literally, there's nothing. We go to massage therapist 24 fucking 7. Something hurts, you go to a chiropractor, you go to a massage, no questions asked. You go to your dentist every 6 to 8 months, steady. Everybody does it. Even if nothing's wrong, you still go, right? Check up. What's wrong going to therapy? I tell people that are doing well, go to therapy. You have nothing to lose. Your company pays for it. My entire company, we have $500 for therapy. That's 3 to 4 sessions, maybe 5 sessions, depending on where you go. Why wouldn't you go? It's free. It's literally free for those 5 sessions, or 4 or 3, whatever it is. I go every 6 months because I'm, obviously in a better place. But I go every 6 months just to check in.
Check in, yeah.
And I sit there. She's like, "Okay, let's talk." I'm like, "Fuck, you know what? I don't really have anything specific, so I'm just gonna tell you about my life recently. I've been here, been doing this, I've been doing this. I got this. I check in.
Yeah.
That's the best thing ever.
What does Ricky Liordi think about the world, the state of the world today? Because the world's, I don't want to say it's a fucked up place, but there's kind of free reign in the world now to like act as you want, do what you want. You can't really like tell people when they're wrong. You can't. What does Ricky Liordi think about the world? Yeah, I mean, we're here now. We're a couple drinks deep.
I think, look, I used to love Toronto, and I think Toronto's going to shit now. I think what's happening in the city is really unfortunate. The traffic's ridiculous. The drug problem's ridiculous. The homeless problem's ridiculous. The housing is ridiculous. There's so many problems with Toronto as a whole. On the world side, I think if just people just fucking loved each other a little bit more, had some more compassion for one another, it'd be a way better place. I feel like maybe it's because we didn't have access to as much information as we did when we were kids, but I don't remember the world being this fucking shit. Like every day I turn on the news and some country's fighting another country. There's hundreds of kids dying, or there's people being kidnapped, or there's fucking people being murdered at schools. Like it's just fucked.
The world's fucked.
It's fucked. I try not to watch the news anymore just because I'm like,
depressing.
It literally is. I'm like, fuck, how does this all happen? And we live in our own little bubble here, and don't get me wrong, I love my little bubble. My bubble's fucking great. But sometimes you see this shit, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what just happened? Or you drive by like these like homeless encampments downtown Toronto, I'm like, how the fuck did this happen?
Sold out, packed.
Yeah.
Filled.
I saw a funny TikTok the other day. A guy in LA was like, this tent right here, this homeless guy, he lives in this tent for free right on Melrose. But I park my car here illegally and I get charged $250. So I was like, look, it's a fucked up place. We're gonna leave it at that because this is where we get canceled. So I get canceled.
Not trying to get canceled, I promise you.
I'm a family-friendly brand. Not getting canceled. But yeah.
We're just trying to talk about the world as a whole. Try to you try to have these conversations without getting canceled because
it's tough, man. It's fucking going to shit.
Yeah.
Like you see what's happening on the other side of the world, and you're like, you're two countries. Like, guys, figure it out. Like, make peace.
Yeah.
Then you got other shit, and a little bit further east, I guess west, depending on where you're looking at it. You got a massive country, just demolishing this tiny little country, and you're like, what the fuck just happened here too? Like, and we live on this side of the world where there's no war right now, but we've got the drug problems bad, the homeless problem. Like,
a lot of problems.
People can't afford homes in Toronto anymore.
Yeah.
Like back in our parents' day, they were like 25, they worked hard, they bought a house, a detached home.
Yeah.
Now, like, nobody our age is buying a fucking detached home unless you're in that 1%, right? So it's shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny where we are in the world with social media now, and I feel this because I have a bit of a following. You obviously have a following. That when we post something, when I always say I can kind of create the directive. So I can kind of tell people not only how I'm living or how my life's going, but how I go around and rate espresso martinis. You know how many messages I get from people? Is this one good? Or come to this one, that. So you're actually creating the narrative, the directive of how people kind of live their life, and I find that to be pretty cool. And I think that's the power of social media now. It's the power of the world. You couldn't do that in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s. So I feel like that's a cool part of it. But it goes back to that kind of whole bundle of you're always on, you're always available. You know, people, I don't want to say I'm arrogant, even though I'm inherently arrogant, just that's who my personality is, but I feel like people always feel like they know me because of my social media presence, or I'm the host of the podcast or whatever. And they feel like I can message this guy and he'll respond. And if you don't respond, they look at you like you're an asshole. But like, sorry, I was busy that day. I had my mental health day. It's like, you don't know, you're not my childhood friend.
Yeah.
I love that you support me in the podcast.
I don't know you shit.
I don't really owe you anything. I don't like that aspect of it. But the way the world feels entitled to you almost. Like, I'm a human. I have the same heart, 2 ears, as
Buddy,
you.
I get it.
You know what I mean? And I know you feel that. That's why I love having podcasters, social media guys on, because they get what I go through. They get what we all go through, right? And it doesn't look, the way you see it is not how it starts, or, you know, we edit. Ricky took time out of his day, finished work, came here. He's tired. He's dealing with shit. He's got to go do this, that, and the other. But he took the time
I
to
don't
come
got shit. You got me all night, buddy.
We might end up somewhere later tonight, but who knows? But
who knows?
No, it's a lot. It takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot out of you.
It really does.
You know?
But I think the important, for me at least, when people come, like, people ask me all the time, oh, why do you have followers? Like, what do you do? I'm like, obviously, you talk about dating. I do cheeky content that makes people laugh and makes people, but that's what I want to do. I want people to come to my page and not have to worry about all the bullshit happening in the world. Like, they're going to see me, you know, you're going to laugh, or you're going to smile, or you're going to say, fuck, yeah, ha, 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 ha. Like, and some of it is a little exaggerated. Like, I get comments all the time, like, okay, this guy can't be that fucking single. Like, if you're single and you look like that, then fuck me, right?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, look, it's not always about that. It's about, I'm here to make people smile. You know, you're coming to my channel. I want it to be good vibes, happy vibes, like good energy, high energy, and like make people laugh, because the world is so fucking shit.
I know.
So much of the time, right? If I can spread a little bit of joy to one person, or if I can help one person out, gladly.
I'm
like
sure.
Valentine's Day, like, did you see what I did on Valentine's Day?
No.
So I did a deal with DoorDash. So DoorDash paid me to make this video. I made this video, whatever. It went very well. And it was to promote that you could buy flowers from DoorDash, whatever. I was in Florida. It's Valentine's Day. I already posted it. It did well. So I'm sitting by the pool, and there's so many women that message me, like, oh, I've never got flowers, like commenting on my shit. Oh, I wish some guy would buy me flowers. I literally posted. I was like, if you've never had flowers.
I do remember this, yes.
If you've never had flowers, DM me right now. I think I probably sent at least 20 women bouquet of roses.
Nice.
I probably spent like $500. And literally, I think majority of them have never got flowers.
I probably wanted a date from you because.
No, well, it's just like literally no sexual. Like, I didn't go on any dates with any of these 20 women. Most of them didn't even live in Toronto. Like, some were in Florida, some were in Texas, some were in California, some were in Florida, some were all over the place. I sent flowers to Indiana. You know,
How do you even Google that?
It was weird. Well, I DoorDashed everybody, so I was like, you have to. DoorDash got to be available. Like, you know, like they paid me. I got a little bit of cash. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
But to do something like that, like, it feels fucking good, because again, you know, these are some women that have never got fucking flowers.
Yeah.
That's sad. It's fucking
crazy.
sad. So I was like, you know what, let me make someone's day a little bit brighter. And I made 20 women's, actually, I sent flowers to a dude too, actually. I sent flowers to a dude too, because, you know, we
don't discriminate.
We don't. So yeah, I did it, and it was like, fuck it, it's such a good feeling.
Yeah.
Like last year, I gave away $1,000 to like a follower, because I did a deal, and I was like, hey, someone who comments on this, I got paid too much on this brand deal. One person who comments on this, I'm gonna give $1,000 to. And the brand was like, cool, we love that. When you do, let us know, we'll pay you for it. I was like, fuck yeah, you guys are awesome.
That's the good part of social media. That's the good part of the world.
Yeah.
That's about connecting now. I want to ask you, because, you know, you're growing every day, you're growing more, and that's the game, right? You're not really going backwards now. You're just kind of like more deals, more followers, whatever. So you'll probably always have your construction and your company and this and that, and that's probably your kind of bread and butter. That's kind of your structure.
Yeah.
But social media is like almost like the lottery, in the sense that, you know, you hit a good viral video, this and that, boom, you could expose.
Yeah.
Kind of how you did.
Yeah.
So for you, how does the future look? How does the map look between TikTok, Instagram, social media, the brand deals? What do you want out of it? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to be?
With social media, I want to continue my consistent little growth. Month over month, get a little bit bigger. I use social media to fund my next opportunities. So, you know, I always like doing side business. I like doing other things. I want my day to be full all day, every day. And like we were talking about this, like trying to do a pod. I'm like, fuck, like my June is fucked.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so busy, but
And I appreciate you taking the
yeah,
time to do
man,
this,
for
yeah.
you, you know, we've seen some early mornings together.
We've had a lot of
yeah, and you and
nights,
your brothers.
yeah.
Me and your brothers have had some crazy.
Shout out
fun.
Nick, shout out Anthony.
Yeah, our trip to Montreal, I'll never forget, boys.
Yes, nuts.
But yeah, I was like, the money I made in 2022 bought my pickleball team. So
Give some flowers to
Yeah.
the pickleball team. Yeah. Number one, they won? They won?
Yeah, we won our fucking CNPL, Canadian National Pickleball League, #1 champions, first
Congrats.
ever champs.
Congrats.
It was the coolest feeling in the fucking world. But yeah, I used the money I made in social media to buy my team. And the money I made last year in 2023, I used to invest in a brewery. So I own a small piece, me and DB.
You should have had your, shout out DB.
Buddy, I
should've had your
fucked
beer
up.
on the-
So again, I just got back from Nashville yesterday.
Respect.
I messaged my partner and I was like, yo, I'm going on a podcast. Can I meet you to get some? But he messaged me at like 2 o'clock. I'm like, fuck, I won't make it downtown and back to Mississauga in time. I'm like, fuck. But you know what?
We'll
When
give
you
them
come-
their strips.
When you come
Shout
on
out-
mine, don't worry. I'm going to have a nice care package for you. Sweater,
Give the name to all
It's called Every Side.
Every
So-
Side
Every
beer,
Side
Every
beer,
Side-
yeah.
Every
So the brewery is actually going to be in the financial district. Do you know where that?
That's big.
So yeah, you know where, let's say Earl's is?
Earl's on
Cactus?
King?
Yeah, Earl's on King.
Okay,
I'm sorry, not the Earl's, the new King in Portland, the other one, the financial core.
King in Wellington?
Yeah, King Wellington
Okay,
area.
yeah, the Earls, yeah.
So yeah, they're building a new one on King West, right beside Ruby. It opens next week. I think.
Right. That's yes.
So it's right across. You know where that head sculpture is? That head that when you like drive by it, it moves. It's a white head. It's a sculpture. Anyways, it's at I think it's Bay in Adelaide is the brewery. So it's called Everside. It's going to open in Q4. So let's say November, December. Then the beer is already out right now. So it's available at Melrose, Piccolo, St. John's Tavern, one other spot.
So you bought like a brand that's already kind of.
So yeah, no, they just started. So I
Okay.
invested in it with me and DB actually, with this extra money I made on TikTok last year, and then the money I make on TikTok this year, next year, hopefully I can
Do something
find a
else.
pickleball facility. That's the next goal. I want a pickleball
That's
facility.
great. That's amazing.
I want to do shit that I enjoy doing. I enjoy drinking. I enjoy going out. I enjoy having fun with the boys.
Yeah.
Okay, did I want a spot in the financial district? No, but it's a fucking brewery. That's fucking cool. Like
Yeah.
before a Leaf game, a Raptor game, a concert, I get to go to my own brewery and have some food, drink some beers, and
Yeah.
go down to the game. You know, last year I got this pickleball club, but like I own this team. Like I get to go watch my own fucking team play. I get to coach. I'm the manager coach. It's the wildest thing ever. I know nothing about pickleball. Nothing. I'm so shit at it too. Like, listen, so we drafted this team. So we're on this webcam call. So I drafted my first round pick was a girl from, she lives in Florida, from Winnipeg, Hannah Blatt. She's never played in Canada. But I had a call with her. I liked her. I thought she was good energy. She's playing in the States. I'm like,
So like the players get paid and everything. It's like
yeah,
a
they
full on
get
thing.
paid. Yeah, not like crazy. They have day jobs.
Yeah.
But in like 10 years, yeah, there'll be pickleball players like full time. Like so my current team is 6 players. Out of my 6, 4 do pickleball full time, like
That's
coaching.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's a crazy.
yeah, I love it.
Spark,
Yeah. So my chick last year, I drafted her. People in the car were like, "Who?" I'm like, "Fuck." I'm looking at George. I'm like, "Fuck." Yeah, we're picking her, and they're just like, "Who?" I'm like, "Hannah Blatt." Fucking right. My second round pick, I drafted him, and he was ranked after the draft tournament. So it was like a combine basically. He was ranked like 60th male in the country. I drafted him second round, like 8th male to be drafted.
The crazy pick.
People are just like, what? Yeah. Already? Like reach? I'm like, fuck. And my third round pick was good, my fourth round, whatever. But first tournament, we go 2-5. So we won 2 matches, we lost 5.
Not the best record.
People are messing me, oh, we're gonna trade you a bow. They wanted my best player. I was like, no, I'm good, my team's good. We go to Edmonton the second tournament, we go 6-1, finals we go undefeated. We dominate everybody.
You win the pickleball.
And we win the fucking pickleball. And if you see, I'll show you the video I made after. I took all the fucking so it's live streamed and they have commentators. I took all the commentators' comments they made. They're like, you know, have you ever heard
Kept the
of Hannah?
receipts.
That's
Kept
exactly
the
what, that was the caption.
Yeah.
We kept the receipts.
Kept the
I'll show you
receipts,
the video
wow.
after. It's you know what, producer Terry, I'm gonna send it to you. Put the video
Yeah,
in
we're
this
gonna-
segment right here.
We're gonna cut this in.
I'm gonna send it. Mark this moment. 40th minute mark.
Yeah, we gotta get out to a pickleball.
Yeah,
match
I'll get
too,
you guys
yeah.
up, man.
I feel like I'd be good at it, even though I'm not swift on my feet.
You'll be fine. Honestly, it's
yeah.
not about being. It's just about like consistently
IQ?
practicing.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll be good. You'll be decent right after.
I'm down. Let's run some pickleball when we get a chance.
Done.
What do you want to leave? I don't want to keep you here all day. We have an hour of
Yeah.
great conversation. So what do you want to leave the people with? You're a social media star. You're working in a construction field. You're growing at a fast pace. You've dealt with depression. You've done a lot, Rick. You've made a great name, and you're kind of on the upward trajectory. So what do you want to leave the people with that are watching this? Not only about you as Ricky, as a person, but what do you want people to know, whether they're struggling or they're figuring out life or whatever? What's your one message to people that are trying to figure it all out? Because it seems like you have, and even you probably know you haven't figured it all out, but you figured a lot of it out. What's the message you want to leave with people?
I'd probably say just keep going. Like day after day, you have a bad day, no problem. Take the L, move on, and work on the next day. And then the next day, and then the next day. And each day, try and get a little bit better. Because we're all gonna have bad days. Everybody's gonna take an L, no matter who you are. Like Tom Brady, the GOAT of GOATs.
Got roasted.
That guy took a fucking major L.
Massive.
Next day he keeps going. No matter how bad your day is, just remember, get a little bit better the next day. Because you get a little bit better every fucking day. Next year, wait, I won this week. Well, next you know, I won this month. Next, I fucking won this year. Damn, this is a good year. Yeah, you might have had those bad days in between. But if you win more days than you lose, man, life's gonna be good. Don't stress the little things. Just day after day, get better.
What more could you want from a podcast episode? Podcaster to podcaster. Ricky, you were great.
We gotta get you on
were
mine.
great.
We're gonna get you on the
I'm
pod.
coming, whatever,
We're gonna
man.
do it. Tonight I'm meeting Danny. We're gonna plan out July. We're gonna get you
coming,
in July.
yeah.
We're gonna have a lot of drinks too.
Yeah.
You know what? We'll plan it on a nice night out.
Yeah, like listen, I was hoping to parlay this into some crazy shit tonight, but
it's a tough
it
one.
is Monday. We're trying to have good weeks.
We'll do it because mine's downtown too.
Usually I'm downtown. Shout out my studio.
We'll park the car. We'll get you downtown.
Yeah, we'll make a night out of it.
Oh,
we'll
fucking
throw it back to 2015.
Oh, yeah.
We're old souls now, man. We're in the 30s now, man. 32, 33.
34. I'm going on 34, man. It's
You
fine.
don't have to tell anybody you look great.
I do
you
my
look
best.
great. Keep
You can't see the
taking care-
grays. Hey, producer Terry, fucking
Yeah, well,
blend out my grays here.
Now with AI, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah,
I can look skinny. It is what it is. I
Well,
love
Chris,
you.
Thanks for having me,
No
man. This
problem,
is great.
bro.
And I
You're
wish you all the
great.
best of success on your pod too, man.
Well, let's go together. Why not?
I love it.
Why
I
not?
love it.
Thank you. See, podcast, another episode. We're done. Thank you guys for watching.